Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tipoff 2021-2022. Dr. Ron Poniewasz is joined by Professor Larry Kelly, basketball savant, high school basketball savant, that is.
Wow.
And we welcome him back to Tipoff.
I don't know about that. I won't go that far. Or maybe you ought to tell Coach Belendo, maybe during the timeouts we'll pay a little more attention to what I have to say.
Yeah, you have to be there first off, though. You were a no-show against Shaler.
I knew we had that handled. You know, I show up for the big games, that's all. And I was invited to a Christmas party, actually by Coach Mangino. You know, when I get the call from him, National Coach of the Year, consensus, got to be there. So that's where I was on Thursday.
Were you there?
They
fared
pretty well without me, the Hurricane on against Shaler, and not so well Sunday night against Central Catholic.
Were you there for that game?
I was.
Okay.
Yeah, I was. I saw firsthand.
Okay. And Ralph said, "Don't bother coming back for a while, Larry."
No, that's not true. He didn't say that either. You know what I mean? Listen, I say what I have to say, and if they choose to listen, that's fine. And if they don't, I'm okay with that too. My feelings, aren't very easily hurt.
Okay.
So I've been told before I don't know what I'm talking about, but it doesn't stop me from saying it.
Okay, that's Larry's point of view, and we have a few segments to go over this week on Tip-Off. They are the usual Athlete of the Week. Larry will have his say on the Red Hurricane Report. And then we'll have a random topic. It kind of looks like we'll call it our kudos to certain areas of things here around the county, a couple of topics. And first off, we have Athlete of the Week. Right now, we're going with Lia Krarup, 5'5" freshman guard. What a performance Lia Krarup had this week. So she is our Athlete of the Week. She plays for Wilmington High School, again, a freshman. She had 22 points in a 43-34 win over Greenville and 21 points in a 48-18 win over Rocky Grove. Larry, very nice performances for a freshman. Very consistent out of her.
Wow. To score, 43 points in a week is pretty impressive. And when you think about in the game against Greenville, she had half the team's points as a freshman guard. That's pretty impressive. She's doing a lot of things right to score that many points in a game. It's one thing if you're a forward and 6 foot and you're just dominating people on the low block and, with offensive rebounds. But it's another thing to be able to score like that from the guard position. I'm assuming she might be a point guard. I'm not certain of that. But, Wilmington women have struggled the last few years. But this is really an encouraging sign. Greenville's always good. And, to go 2-0 and to have a freshman guard put up the type of scoring that Lia did, very deserving of Athlete of the Week. It's been a long time since we had a Wilmington basketball player as Athlete of the Week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you mentioned point guard. She is, in fact, a point guard. And 2 times in a row when I talked to Coach Jekovich out at Wilmington, he told me, he said, Ron, we're asking a lot from her. She's doing a lot of different things from the point guard position. She's running the point. We're asking her to score and be a leader out there on the floor. And she's doing everything we're asking of her and that much more. And he said, and the best part is she's a freshman, so that's great.
The point guard is the straw that stirs the drink on a basketball team, to quote Reggie Jackson. And, you don't appreciate a good one until you don't have a good point guard, because, you can't turn the ball over. You have to create points for yourself, as Lia does. But I'm sure she also creates scoring opportunities for her teammates. And that's what a good point guard does. He or she stirs the drink, whether they're creating for themselves or somebody else. It's imperative at any level that you have a point guard who understands the game, understands their role, and is able to execute the offense as the coach has drawn it up.
Yeah. And last year, Wilmington's girls team won 2 total games. This year, they are 4-1. So they've doubled their win total. Got practically the whole season in front of you. the future is bright for not only Lia Krarup, but the entire program as well.
Is this Coach Jekovic's first or second year as the women's coach?
Mike Jekovich's second year. He moved over from the boys team
Right.
to coach the girls team.
Right, right. So, look, he understands the game, and you got to get young women excited. You got to get them excited at the very young ages and have a good program with good coaches at the elementary and junior high level. And once you do that and start winning games, you create excitement, and that creates a culture. And they're well on their way.
Yep, absolutely. Congratulations to Lia Krarup, 5'5" freshman guard from Wilmington. She is our athlete of the week. Coming up.
There's one thing I learned growing up around here. People should look out for each other. Be friends and neighbors that you can count on. So it bothers me when people who are hurt in automobile accidents get bullied by the insurance company. I don't let bullies run over my clients. I do what I was taught growing up. Step up, stand up, and speak up for those who can't. I'm Larry Kelly, and I'm a Newcastle guy.
Back with you here on Tip-Off, and we are going to have a real quick segment here. Going to go over a couple areas of interest. Kudos to the Union girls basketball team, 5-0. That's 5.
Yes.
There's a lot of times, last several years, they had a hard time getting to 5 wins. They're right out of the chute, 5-0. And Kelly Cleaver transferred over from Shenango to Union, hits the game-winning basket in overtime for the Lady Scots in a 50-48 win this week. Boy, that's a tough team. They're 5-0 in non-league play, and like I always say, would you rather win in league or non-league? We're gonna wait. We're gonna have to wait to see how this transitions into league play. But what the nice part is, Larry, is this is momentum. They know they can play. They know they can win. So I still am very high on the Union girls basketball team.
Absolutely. Listen, Shenango's a good basketball team. Kelly Cleaver's a really wonderful player. I believe Janie Nattel had 28 for Shenango in that game. And I saw the winning basket on Lawrence County Sportsnet. It was a nice move by Kelly Cleaver. She got the ball into the paint, did a reverse pivot, and banked it home with about 5 seconds left. So great game. I knew Rob Nogay was going to get this going. He's just too good a coach. He was too good an athlete. And again, nothing succeeds like success. Once you get that momentum, as you spoke about, once the players get that confidence and they believe, good things happen. As a head coach, my main job is to make sure that my players believe, that they have confidence that they can get it done. And it's, at least in my view, that's one of the biggest jobs of a coach and his staff. Make believers out of your players. And trust me, Union believes at this point. Beating Shenango at Shenango, great game. Great win.
Yeah, trailed 15-3 at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it says something about the character of that team.
Yeah, the Neshannock girls basketball team, last year, the Lady Lancers reached Hershey and came up short. This year, they played 2 games in a row without Nalia Nogay, and have split those decisions. They lost a 60-58 overtime game to Rochester at the clash at Newcastle on Saturday. And she's expected back, just precautionary. But, Larry, is it a big deal that she's out of the lineup or no big deal?
No, are you kidding? She's the MVP in the section. She might be the best women's basketball player in Western PA, and she's a triple-double machine. Other than that, it's not a big deal.
Well, the reason I ask that is, here we are in December, and I'm asking that because of December, and like Luann said, they're trying to learn how to play without her. And that's kind of the reason they lost to Rochester. The very next night they play, or 2 nights later, they play Sewickley Academy and beat them by 42 points. So I think it's a big deal that they're playing without her, but in a way it's kind of, you never know. Injuries are fickle. You could have an injury 3 weeks from now to name your player. They had a lot of injuries last year. And so this is kind of a good thing, not good thing, but to learn how to play without somebody in case you have to.
Yeah, well, let me stop you. Nishanik is not the same team without Lia Nogay. They're not even close to the same. She is a triple-double machine. This young girl is special. She's the point guard. She scores. She rebounds. She defends. She assists. They're not the same team without her. And right, you got to learn to play sometimes without your best player. But I'm sure if you ask Coach Gabrowski, she doesn't want to go long without playing with Lia Nogay.
Yeah. What it's going to do is it's affording others to step into positions, and do things that, might not be asked of them. And this is what Luann's going to find out from her team. And it's going to benefit them in the long run. Plus, she's going to get Nalia back. So rest up, heal up, be ready, and then let the other girls show what they can do. And it's really going to develop that team for the section battles.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a tremendous basketball team. I believe they're ranked number 1 in the WPIL in their classification. They have all 5 starters back. These young women can play. Every one of them can play, except Lia Nogay is a difference maker. And you're not going to be the same team without her. You're just not. You'll be good. You just won't be as good.
Yeah, went over 1,000 points recently also. So congratulations to Lia Nogay certainly on that. And everybody's looking forward to her safe and speedy return to the lineup. Larry, I was talking to Ralph the other day, Ralph Blundo, and he says the holiday season is when we really make strides. It's when we improve and this and that. Tell me how important the holiday tournaments are for our area teams to really develop their game and improve.
Well, it's exciting. Normally, as we discussed a little bit earlier, during the holiday season, you do have a little more time off than you have once the regular season starts. And you can use that time to make your team better. You can use that time to fine-tune your team, whether it be offensively, defensively, whether it be your press, your half-court offense. It's important during that time that you get better because, once the season starts, you don't have the same amount of practice time. You play Tuesday, you practice Wednesday and Thursday. One of those days you're running the offense of the team that you're going to play or the defense. You don't have the same amount of time to work on the fundamentals in your game. You play Friday. Normally, we're off Saturday. We watch film on Sunday. We got one practice day on Monday, and then we're back at it on Tuesday. So the holiday season is the time for you to not only get in a couple games, but really to fine-tune your team and get it ready for the section play that'll begin right after the first of the year.
Yeah. Lastly here, Larry, I don't know why this has to happen every year. It's starting to become an every year occurrence. Last week, the Stowe Rocks girls basketball team was scheduled to play at Union High School. At Union High School, Union Area High School.
And they went to the wrong school again.
Yes, again. And so Lawrence County was treated to West Coast basketball. I believe the game started darn near around 10 o'clock or slightly before. That can't happen. Are people that insane that they can't do their due diligence and call the AD and say, gee, I do know that there's a Union Area and Union Reimersburg, even though it probably says right on the sheet Union Area High School. Can't they make a phone call and confirm the direction?
Sometimes it's the bus company that kind of makes that mistake. I remember one time we were supposed to play North Allegheny or West Allegheny, and the bus driver was heading to North Allegheny. And once we got off of the Wexford exit on 79, I looked at her and I said, "Are you going to North Allegheny?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, that's nice, but we play West Allegheny today." So it could happen, but I think that's happened 2 years in a row, hasn't it?
Yeah.
With Union, that the team went to the wrong school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want to say it was a playoff game last year because, as you know, teams were playing at home in the playoffs. Yeah. And I want to say that was a playoff game because I suggested last year believe it was Mark Stanley. I says, why don't you just take a forfeit, in advance? I mean, you did what you had to do. You were in the building. And I remember, I'm pretty sure it was Mark Stanley, because he said, we went on the other side of the bleachers and we were warming up, and I just didn't want them to do too much to the point that they were tired out. And, that can't happen. I mean,
no, it does, but it does. I wish I had a better answer for you, except that it does. I mean, I'm a little neurotic, and, I like to get to, even in a ninth grade game, I want to be at the school at least 45 minutes before tip-off, but sometimes the bus can't get to pick your team up in time, and you're running late, and, I just don't like that. I like to get there in adequate time. I make sure we know where we're going and what gym we're playing in, because, in junior high basketball, you don't always play in the varsity gym. So, Sam Flora is really good at that. I'll touch base with Sam and say, Sam, make sure what gym we're playing in, so, we can make sure the bus driver knows where he or she is going. And, but it doesn't always happen, my friend.
Yeah, apparently. And, the bad thing about it is, like I said, do your due diligence. Have either the AD make the phone calls or do it yourself. Get an address, because maybe you're playing Union High School, Union area, Union Reimersburg, either or, but maybe you're playing at the middle school up the road, or maybe you're playing somewhere, up the road, down the road, over here, over there, wherever. Just because it says Union High School doesn't necessarily mean that the game couldn't have got pushed over to maybe 2 or 3 blocks away. I don't know. Maybe
Beaver Falls, for years, they don't play in the high school gym. They play in the middle school gym, the pit.
Right.
So you have to dot your I's and cross your T's. And as I said, I'm a little neurotic about that stuff. And Sam Flora is really good at chasing that down so that everybody's on the same page, when we're leaving the school.
All right. Larry Kelly, anything else to say before Santa makes his decision? Lump of coal or a gift?
Well, happy holidays to you. Now, I just want you to know that Santa's probably going to call me this week, and he's going to ask about Pete Sirianni and Ron Poniewasz. Now, I'm going to give you guys a good report, because I want to see you get a few presents under the tree. But, I'm not the final word on that. Santa has other contacts other than me. But rest assured that when he calls me this week, I'm going to give you and my man Pete a good report. Tell him you've been good boys this year.
Okay.
Really good boys. As good as you could possibly be, because both of you guys got some issues. It's hard to overcome. But I'm going to give him a good report.
That just dialed it down about 100 notches there, but that's okay. We will do the same, Larry. We will take care of our guy. He's a Newcastle guy. He's a Shenango guy. He's all kinds of a guy, you name it. So we want to see Larry Kelly get his due presents as well.
Yeah, my wife said, Marisa said, I've been a good boy this year, so I'm gonna be up early on Christmas morning, hoping Santa drops some nice things off for me.
Okay, all right. Well, hopefully you know how to tie that necktie when you get it.
All right, my friend. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to everybody, and thank you again for having me. There's nothing more than I enjoy than spending a Tuesday evening with my man Ronnie and Pete.
All right. Merry Christmas to you and your family, Larry. Merry Christmas to all our viewers out there, our student athletes and coaches. Enjoy the games leading up to the holiday tournaments and at the holiday tournaments. And above all, stay safe, stay healthy, practice all the protocols that you need to, and wear a mask whenever available and wherever you need to. Again, happy holidays. We will see you back here next week right here on Tip Off.